Hello, everyone, and welcome to my very serious video essay about the hypothetical political opinions of Blue Lock characters. This idea came to me in a dream and from a Tumblr post of someone doing the same thing with real-life footballers. I will link the post below, and I hope they forgive me for how much I stole from them. So before we get into this, I'm going to establish some ground rules, 3 of them to be specific. Okay, rule number 1. This is not done for fun. This is dead serious. Everything about this has been researched meticulously, and I hope you all know the effort I put into this. Rule number 2, it is that deep. And rule number 3, if you have any questions, critiques, comments, save them, because I'm right, and I won't be swayed. So we're going to start this off with the most obvious starting position with our protagonist, Mr. Isagi Yoichi. Okay, I like Isagi. I've seen some conflicting opinions on him, namely my friend Emmy telling me he's more interesting when he's evil. And I have to agree. I think he is more interesting when he's evil. But I think Isagi is a very good sports anime protagonist. You know, he's got that fire in him. He's got the motivation. He's definitely not a static character. He's someone that definitely wants to be the best, wants to be the star, but is willing to make sacrifices for the greater good. And I think that would carry over to him as a politician. However, sometimes he does become possessed by the devil. You know, it happens to the best of us. We're going to put him right here. Okay, character number 2, and one of my favorites, Meguru Bachira. I love him, and I defy all attempts for people to flatten down his interesting character traits into, haha, silly bee, get a new joke. Anyway, I think he's one of those guys that's going to be like, mental health care is good. And he's right, and he does believe that with his whole heart. But, you know, don't ask him about anything deeper than that because he has perpetual foot and mouth disorder. We're going to put him here. Next up, Chigiri Hyoma. Still not a fan of that name, but also a character I'm very fond of. Really good character development from him. Let's see. I don't think Chigiri is that involved in politics. I think he's too busy accepting various modeling sponsorships and then not doing any research into the labor practices of said brands. You know, he's going to be one of those guys that's going to tweet like, fuck bigots, and then be like, that's enough activism for a couple months. We're going to put him here. Sorry, Chigiri. Kunigami Rensuke. Sakura gave him the PTSD of a World War II veteran, which I think is really fucking funny. He's still kind of a dick. But, you know, I think he's one of those guys that donates to charity but is like on the low key about it. You know, he has it set up through PayPal and it goes through automatically. I'm not sure what kind of charities he would donate to. I'm thinking maybe like a one for reproductive rights like Planned Parenthood or something because he has a lot of older sisters and I'm sure he's like well, we know he's really close to them, but I'm sure he's like really into, you know, like reproductive rights, women's rights, shit like that. But he's gonna be like real low key about it, and if anyone tries to call him out on it, he's gonna deny it. You know, he's still kind of a dick though. He goes here. Okay, character number 5, Gagamaru Gin. I fucking love him. I love him to death. But honestly, this man has no idea what the fuck is going on at any point in time. Just look at him. I think his political opinions is like animals are good, environment is good, climate change is bad. I think he'd be like an eco-terrorist if not for soccer. So maybe we should all be a little bit thankful for that, or else he'd spend his free time learning how to build pipe bombs instead of treating goalkeeping like guerrilla warfare. Next up, Raichi Jingo. Shark. I love that he's a shark. Okay, I think that Raichi would go into politics because he likes to argue with people about anything and everything. I think he's not like a serious political candidate, but you know, the people just love him. You know, he's dumping cans of tomato sauce on racist. You know, a real hero of the people, a real kind of grassroots type guy. Okay, Igaguri. I don't know what his actual name is. I think Igaguri is like a portmanteau of his first and last names. But definite madman and grifter extraordinaire. You know, he's using his background as a monk's son to get those appearance views. And you know, a bad win is still a win. We're gonna put him here. Okay, next up, Kuon. I forgot his given name. A sneaky, sneaky little snake. He goes here. Right, next, Iki Nico. I have surprisingly little thoughts about him. I think he would be one of those people that like displays his Yu-Gi-Oh cards in his office, and That's kind of where this begins and ends. I think he'd be on the side of anyone that knows enough about trading cards to talk with him. Surprisingly lacking in principles. Sorry, Nico, you go here. Okay, next up, the man, the myth, Baro Shohei. I think this is going to be one of those cases where he doesn't actually run for political office, but a bunch of people are like, haha, wouldn't it be so funny if we write his name in on the ballot? And then enough people do that that he actually gets elected. You know, it's like Harambe in 2016 if it didn't fail horrifically. I wonder how dated that reference is going to be. I was like a freshman in high school when that happened. Ugh. But it's like that, and I think he does like a really good job actually, and he's reelected multiple times. Like the man does not know failure in any context. It's kind of insane. We're gonna put him right here. Okay, next up, Nagi Seishiro. Another one of my favorites. Very fond of him. But honestly, I want all of you to take a look at Nagi and look at what's going on behind his eyes. And the answer is nothing. This man does not know what the hell is going on. I think Reiru could give herself power of attorney over him and he would not know a thing. We're gonna put him here. Okay, Mikage Reo. Reo is a rich boy Nepo baby who has never not gotten everything he's ever wanted. He is 100% running for a political office if the soccer career does not work out. He has his speech written already. In fact, I think he has 5. He has like one written if he wins by a landslide, one if it's a normal victory, one if he like just barely wins, one if he loses by a narrow margin, and one if it's just like a regular victory because you know you don't acknowledge your landslide failures. But also, he's playing 5D multiverse chess with a guy whose hobby is downloading malware onto his phone until it's an iPhone themed brick, and he's losing. I'm this man's number one hater. He goes here. Mr. Zentetsu, listen, guys, it pains me to say this because we all love a himbo, but this is like a Facebook level of understanding of politics. He means well, but he's stupid as hell. And I think he knows enough to not to stay out of politics. Sorry, Zentetsu, you're gonna go right here. All right, next we have our first girl, Miss Reiru Ego. And if you don't know who this is, maybe go back and reread the series because she is totally canon. She's totally all over that series, and she has a harem of soccer players. I don't know how you could possibly miss her. She's like the best character. She's so funny, and I love her. But sadly, I think that Reiru has like the ego of a third century Roman emperor. And I think if you give her any political power, she would inevitably be assassinated. But it would be kind of funny. We're gonna put her. All right, next up, Miss Ina Ego, the other half of the Ego twins. She treats nutrition science like there's a sniper on her at all times that's going to take her out if she fucks up the fats to protein ratio. I think she's a big proponent for nutrition education in schools. And, you know, she's probably a political podcaster in another life, teaching the people about how to eat healthier. She goes here. Okay, Itoshi Rin. Ooh, I had a lot of theories about this guy, but I think I'm gonna go with he would run for office because Sayutoshi doesn't. And we're gonna get to Sayutoshi later down the line. But I think that he is petty enough that he would go into politics solely because his older brother didn't. You know, future of the AFC, the man, the myth, he's running purely on spite, and he's running really well. We're gonna put him here. Okay. Aryu Jubei. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but we're gonna go with that. I think he's one of those people that's like gay rights, trans rights, but in his head he's like, but only for pretty people. And if anyone wants to come at me and be like, but Lise, all queer people are pretty. Not according to Aryu. Take it up with him. Do you say Shido? I hate his anime color palette. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But we're going down. All souls are perished. However, it would be funny. Shido for Prime Minister 2026. Next up, Karasu Tabito. Thinks he's better than everyone else and is often correct. Is way too fucking smug about everything. Future Japanese captain? We're gonna put him right here. Next, Eita Otoya. Also another one of my favorites. I hope he gets more screen time soon. And I'm sorry to say it, but Hillary Clinton Democrat fuckboy. And not that he's only picking his political opinions to what he thinks girls would be into, but don't trust him. Yukimiya Kenyu, I had to look up what his fucking name was. A face card that never declines. He's familiar with your game, believes in numbers, and is inventing this like the most nonsense math to make his stats better than everyone else actually. And if you don't get it, you're just not smart enough. Cannot take a loss. He's definitely running for office. Who are we kidding? We're gonna put him right here. Hiyori Yo. The short answer, no. The long answer, he doesn't want to attempt at all. He probably wouldn't be bad at it. And I think he would put his gamer chair in his office. I think that'd be a really good visual gag for him. Also, this is totally just me. I think he looks weird in the anime. Something about his eye shape is kind of weird. He looks a lot better in the manga. Anyway, Hiyori, you go here. Nanase. I don't remember his first name either. Very naive, well-meaning, idealistic, wants to succeed but unwilling to stand up for himself, and would be easily swayed to uphold the status quo. I'm sorry, Nanase. We're gonna put you here. Alright, the legend himself, Sai Itoshi. Soccer's golden boy, the Japanese player of the entire sport, midfielder of this generation. Terrible at everything else. And he knows he's terrible at everything else. Just soccer. That's all he's good at. And he knows it. And I love that for him. I think if you write him a speech, he wouldn't even read it. He'd just make up shit on the spot. And he defines the hater mindset. This man is on like a Kendrick Lamar level of hating. We're going to award him the first Nobel Hate Prize. He goes here. Oliver Aiku, our token Weijin. The machinations of the governments is beyond him. Stop with the underage drinking. He goes here. Sendo. Pathetic little fail boy, but at least he's pretty. Knows better than to try. And it's for the best, because he's probably listening to Manosphere podcasts. I imagine his For You page on TikTok is a biohazard. No one wants to see that. He goes here. Kurona. I love how I've just stopped looking up players' first names. Everyone's just a last name now, unless I have it written down. He's a shark, but he's pink now. I love that for him. Real goblin shark representation. Adore it. Short king and stutter advocate. Nothing else on his mind. And he's a canon Gachiaku to stan. What more could you ask for? Gonna put him here. Okay. Kiora. He longs to dance, but he's playing soccer instead. No one knows why. Desires to be a model citizen, except when he's playing dirty, which happens to be a lot. We're gonna put him here. Okay, Noah. We're actually gonna get into some of the actual adults in the series now. Pragmatic objectivist who utilizes all resources available to develop himself and his players. What are his feelings on taxes? We're unsure. The Godfather waltz is playing now. Very coincidental. Michael Kaiser. Okay, beloved group chat. I don't know if you've heard me say this phrase before, because I say it a lot to Emmy. But the phrase, a white man's confidence, yeah, Michael Kaiser invented that phrase, and he embodies it. He's got like a fuck you, got mine mindset, because he does have kind of a poor background. I'm not going to spoil that for anyone. But fuck you, got mine, Nietzsche philosophy bro. Kaiser, you go here. Alexei Ness. I think Ness is kind of funny because he canonically believes in like witchcraft and crystals and shit, and it's done nothing for him so far. Unable to form thoughts without the approval of others. Unable to form anything for himself, actually. Apologies, Ness. You go here. Mark Snuffy. I love his design, by the way. Learn the highs and lows of being a star athlete very young. He's seen heaven and hell. Youngins, please trust his wisdom. I don't think I have to answer this question because for better or worse, I think he is becoming a manager. It's in the next like 5 years. We're gonna know everything we need to know about this. Mark Snuffy, I think I'm gonna put you here. We'll see how right I am. Don Lorenzo, known freak and zombie, affectionate. He has the potential to become the poster child for athlete activism as someone who came from homelessness to becoming a top U20 prospect. He's not, though, and capable of thinking more than a week ahead and definitely involved in sports betting controversies. Don Lorenzo, you go here. Lavino! I hope you can tell my feelings on him just by the way I said his name. Himbo, whatever my wife says, I agree with. She's the only reason he's filed any taxes in the last decade. Everyone say thank you, Selena. Chris Prince. Single-handedly holding the United Kingdom together, but he wants Welsh independence, so it's kind of working against him. Good for him. I think he's too busy modeling to do anything about that. But you know what? The people love him. Chris Prince, we're going to put you here. Okay, Julian Loki, the coolest motherfucker in this entire series. Yes, I am biased. I think he's pro everything. We just love this man. Pro sex workers' rights, a victim's advocate, domestic violence shelters. He's putting his money where it needs to go. Multimillionaire political activist. I love him to death. The French media hates him. They're desperate for him to slip up due to his views. I'm sad to say he is French. Julian Loki, you go here. Charles, I don't know how to say his last name. He's your annoying little cousin at the family reunion. He picks fights when he's bored, but he's only 15, so you know he's got time to grow. We'll see where it takes him. But as for now, I'm gonna put him here. Jinpachi, Ego, the man, the myth himself. I think he's the closest thing to a terrorist this sport will ever know, but he's too busy making soccer a war crime to actually run for office. He goes here. Henri Thierry, I love you to death. I think she's gonna be. I'm a little on the fence. I think we need to see more from her before I can come to a conclusion. This is gonna be like you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain situation. We're gonna see. We're gonna see where the world takes her. She's riding with her troops into battle. Let's go, Miss Henri. You go here. Onazi. Action through tangible aid, home and abroad, on his way to becoming a UNESCO ambassador for Nigeria. He's like I think he's gonna be the third one after Pele and Vinicius Jr. Let's go, man. I love this for you. Preaches peace and compassion, except when on the pitch. Pele would be very proud. Yes, I know Pele's Brazilian. Kuso. He realized the power of friendship was getting in the way of winning, and he realized it a little too late. I cannot wait for the under-20 match of Nigeria versus Blue Lock to become his villain origin story. It's Vinicius Jr. in the 2024 Ballon d'Or all over again. He goes here. Bunny Iglesias. He knows what he did. He goes here.